Oops. There we go. Okay. Welcome to another episode of whatever. Whatever. So, as the title implies, because and the description, because I have terrible friends. Today we're going to talk about Wall Street bets and GameStop. I really don't want to do this. I'm so tired of this topic. But all right, let's get to it. Actually, in fact, let's play the United States of America, because why the hell not? Yeah, Wall Street bets and GameStop. Great, yay. Yes, I know you're paying me to do it. Getting to it, all right, bro. Just relax. Let me set up the United States first. The issue at hand actually isn't so much that it's an uninteresting topic. It's that it's a topic that's just been like overplayed and over-talked. Like everybody has been talking about it for basically 2 weeks straight, and it's time to move on, man. I don't care anymore. It was funny literally the first day when I said, you guys will remember this. In fact, I'm gonna go back on Discord and actually take a screenshot of this, where I said on the very first day that the only people who will make money are those initial few Redditors, the market makers, and a few hedge funds which were not on the short side. And look, that's exactly who made the money. Like literally everyone who lost money. I don't want to talk about this, man. All right, we should be setting up for the Civil War. What am I saying? See, this is the benefit of having hindsight. You can just like not. Oh yeah, wait. No, before that we need to get Texas back into the union. Not back into the union, but into the union. Okay. Anyway, where to begin? I don't even want to talk about this. United States of Central America, sure, why not? Yeah, so some people bought some bets and decided it was fun, and so they did it, and then they encouraged each other to do more of it, and so everyone did more of it. And then some guys were like, nah, let's stick it to those fucking rich kids. And so they stuck it to those rich kids who are running, who are on the other side of those, well, no, let's not call it the other side, who are on the, who are shorting GameStop. And so they essentially egged each other on to engage in a short squeeze on those poor, I don't usually say this, but on those poor hedge funds who were shorting GameStop, and therefore fun things happened, and therefore more things happened, and really like I don't even know what else there is to say to this. It's just people were being dumb, and therefore dumb things happened. And I, for one, definitely sympathize with those who have lost money on GameStop. And if we were to be brutally honest, the people who lost money on GameStop were those late coming Redditors. And that's tragic. Because that is, sorry, I was just getting my tea. Because that is what happens when Yes, you guys made me angry by sponsoring this. Yeah, no, but that is what happens when you play the market and you don't look at the fundamentals, right? Like, where is GameStop today? Let me check. It must be in like 63.77. There we go. It even rose after hours. No, it rose in the morning, and then it was flat after hours. Yeah, that sounds. And after close, it blipped up a little bit, but it looks like as of 8 p.m. it is sitting at, futures for it is sitting at 66. I love how the 52-week high for GameStop is actually $483, and the 52-week low is $2.57. It's just like, guys, come on. Come on, man. It's up. No, I appreciate that it's up. It's still up like 500%. No, but still, like, that's not how these things work, right? Because you cannot possibly sustain that price. So obviously, it's that price. Like, people got bored and then played the stock markets, and then they all decided to play the same markets because of a sense. Actually, let me go on a tangent here. It's actually a particularly interesting effect because I think, I'm at least personally of the opinion that it could very well actually be a how do we say it? It could very well actually be a political, and I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen. Nobody can actually see me point at the screen, but it could very well be a political effect that led to the GameStop phenomena, simply because, oh right, we should increase tax. Should we decrease education? I mean, who? Yeah. I was saying it could very well be a political thing because for a long time now, the state of the U.S. has been one that is the both the extreme right and the extreme left. Well, not even the extreme right, just like both right and left versus Wall Street. And so it made particular sense when someone made the call to stick it to the Wall Street boys. And no, it's okay. I'm just putting on my tie. Don't worry. I'm not getting attacked by a snake. Yeah, at this point, I kind of do wish I wasn't getting attacked by a snake, so I don't have to answer your damn questions. Oh, hold on. This is more important than your questions. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Because of the nature of that political system being extremely, or not political system, but of emotions being hyperpolarized in the United States, that when someone made the call to go against GameStop, go against those Wall Street boys who were shorting GameStop, that it triggered a sort of, shall we not say herd instinct, but rather revenge. This is what happens when, like, since coming to North America to the US, that I've completely forgotten all of my French and all of my German. Anyway, revanchism within, the small guys, or let's not call them the small guys. Let's call them the retail investors, the average Joe. And so because the average Joe really wants to stick it to the Wall Street bros, and this was one really easily explained version of sticking it to the Wall Street bros, everyone piled in on it. And that's great. Except when it loses, like, my issue with all of this is not that some rich kids were having fun with their money and bought meme stocks for no reason. My issue with all of this is that some some rich kids were having fun with meme stocks and spent their money in it, which then led to a whole bunch of other people who aren't as well informed to spend money, put more money than they have into it, and those people are left holding the bag. And this is not even getting into into my boy Elon, right? Like I've talked about this before, and I really don't want to talk about it again, but I will, because I must. And it's that people like our boy Elon have a responsibility not just towards themselves, but towards everyone that thinks that they are smart, that this particular person is smart. And I no, I'm just I don't care if you think Elon Musk is smart. I don't particularly think he is, for a whole bunch of reasons. But one of the most important ones is messing with regular people. He knows very well what kind of power he has, and he chose to do so and to continue to use that power. Well, he did not continue. And he chose to use that power for what amounts to be evil. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, he chose to use that power for evil, and I don't care if you. I don't care if you disagree. Because it is right. Like when you know that by saying something, you can drive people to spend money that they really don't have, to do things that is bad for them. That is evil. That is evil. And if I may just propose that the mere fact that he has now but left Twitter is proof enough, not that he understands, but that someone at Tesla definitely understands. It could very well be that he's had a hit of conscience and decided that, oh, suddenly, no, I think I should take a step back so I don't kill everyone. But if I'm honest, do I think that's likely? It could be likely. Do I absolutely think it's likely? No, I don't. I really don't. Right? I'm not gonna get into that debate. You know very well what my net worth is. What was I saying? Yeah, and so the whole Wall Street bets and the GameStop thing is just it annoys me, because it didn't have to be like this. Like people like it. I'm just so tired of this topic. I don't want to talk to you guys about this anymore, man. Come on. Anyway, okay. But since you paid for this, whatever, we'll go with it. What was I saying? Yes. So essentially, what happened was, the people that made the money are the people who usually make the money, which is something that you would refer to as high frequency traders. But what they actually do isn't so much high frequency trading. Or no, let me rephrase that. They very much are high frequency traders, but they are high frequency traders not because they see that you want to buy at, let's say, they see you want to buy GME at 150, so they buy it at 149.99 and then sell it to you at 150. That's not how that works, because that is literally against the law. And if you could prove that that's what they did, well, how should I say this? they would all go to jail. That is, yeah, no, that is literally, no, okay, I don't care who said it. Please do not ever again, because your news sources are definitely not as wide as and knowledgeable as mine. But no, what high frequency traders do, or in this case, we'll call them wholesalers, because they are high frequency traders in that they trade a lot. But like, does that make you a high frequency breather when you're running? No, by the very nature of their business, they have to trade a lot, because they are what help the brokerages like Robinhood, like what else is it, TD Ameritrade, Schwab, like they help the public retail brokerages make like buy and sell orders, and they are sort of, you can consider them market makers, because essentially what happens is they take all of these bulk orders, not bulk orders, they take individual orders from, oh come on, they take individual orders from the brokerages. So say I go on to Robinhood and I buy GME, and then Texas is in trouble. Maybe we should yeah, let's do this. This looks about right. So say I buy some shares on Robinhood. Oh, by the way, if I buy those shares, I pay for those shares 2 days later, right? And we'll get into why Robinhood had to limit your oh, we're already at 17 minutes. I haven't even started yet. Because I was so busy complaining. Okay, we'll go for another 5 minutes. It's all good. So I buy some. We're actually gonna stop the game, because this is important. I buy some GME shares on Robinhood. Robinhood takes my order, guarantees my order, right? Because I bought at this price and I want to get it bought at this price. And so what happens is Robinhood then moves my order to a wholesaler, and then that wholesaler will make essentially will in 2 days give those shares to Robinhood, and Robinhood will give those shares the money to the wholesaler, and the wholesaler sits in between Robinhood and the exchange, which in this case we know. And what happens then is the point of the wholesaler is to actually get that transaction done in a way that maximizes value for the end buyer, which in this case is me. And they can do that in a few ways, right? Like the wholesaler can look at it and say, oh look, someone's trading GME. Is he buying or is he selling? So he wants to buy GME, let's say at 150, and at some point down the line, I think someone will want to sell GME at say 150, whatever, 151. And so the wholesaler then arbitrages between those two sales, and essentially is saying, you know, douchebag A wants to buy GME at 150, douchebag B wants to sell GME at actually let's say douchebag B wants to sell GME at 149. So if the wholesaler sells GME to douchebag A at 150 and then buys it back for 149, then wholesaler essentially makes $1 worth of profit. Very, very broadly generalizing, and technically that's not even how it works, but that's the spirit is in that, because you know the wholesaler does this not just over one transaction, but does it over a prolonged set of transactions, right? And That's actually why retail investors like you and I who buy through brokerages tend to be called noise traders, because we are our action might as well be noise, because things happen all the time for no particular reason, and so wholesalers they don't take advantage of this per se. They provide a vital service by being essentially saying that they can do it more efficiently than if the brokerage went directly to the exchange, and that is true. And so in a lot of cases you would actually get a better price than what you paid for, than if you went directly to the exchange, because the exchanges themselves deal with much bigger orders. So things like institutional investors, like big hedge funds, all of that stuff, they trade directly on the exchange, whereas us regular folk, we trade through the wholesalers, because it makes things a little bit easier. So the wholesaler, I am not even gonna name them, they tend to keep some of these stocks in circulation, and so remember, wholesaler is the high frequency trader. Come on, you paid for this. Listen, it's a lecture. So the wholesaler keeps some GME stocks in its own portfolio, and then if I want to buy it, it sells to me at 150. If someone wants to sell it for 149, it buys it from them at 149, and it makes that dollar in the middle. And that's technically how they make money, right? One quick second. Yeah, and so that's technically how they make money, but also it ends up being much more efficient for everyone, and I actually get a better price for those shares than I would be if I had to pay if I had to go directly to the exchange, because the exchange actually would charge me more, or rather, no. It would cost me more to go to the exchange for a variety of reasons that I'm not going to get into, because you guys are dumb. No, trust me, I'm not going to get into it with you lot. And so that's why those wholesalers exist. Actually, it's to give everyone give retail investors like you and I slightly better price, and they exist as a middleman, because not only can they give us a better price, they can also make a little bit of money from the middle, like how I just described. So that is how they work, but that is also why Robinhood last week had to temporarily shut down the ability to trade particular shares, because it was, how do I even explain this? Okay, let's go back to what I said earlier about how once you trade, the settlement happens 2 days later, which means that if I buy today, technically the shares only become mine in 2 days, and in those 2 days things can happen, just like we've seen with GME stock. In those 2 days shit happens. And so what then? So Robinhood has to guarantee that it gets the shares to me, and so therefore it needs to also guarantee the wholesaler that we were just talking about that the money will be there. And often the wholesaler will demand some sort of collateral for that, because obviously that is a contract that needs to be enforced in 2 days, and yet the world can change in 2 days, right? If suddenly Robinhood decides that it cannot pay that, or you decide that you're bankrupt and you can't pay for those shares in 2 days, then Robinhood has to have some collateral to make up for that, because otherwise that's not how modern contracts work, right? Anyway, so why did Robinhood have to restrict those shares? Well, the more volatile a stock price is, the more collateral those wholesalers will demand, And unfortunately, that means, you know, for a company like Robinhood that doesn't have, or no, for a company like GME whose stock is extremely volatile, they demand a lot of collateral, and Robinhood suddenly doesn't have enough money to pay for that collateral. And incidentally, that's why Robinhood was actually able to raise so many billions last week. Yeah, and so the trading stopped for you guys, not because Robinhood was bailing out GME or those hedge funds that were shorting GME, but because Robinhood, you literally destroyed the system, and therefore Robinhood couldn't post enough collateral to the wholesaler to allow more transactions, and that's why slowly as Robinhood raised that money and tapped all of its credit lines. No, not that tap. No, not that tap. See, I preempted you and you still typed it. It's not that tap, man. Come on. Anyway, the point being, yeah, no, that wasn't you guys. Don't worry, that was on my end. The point being that because of what happened, because you guys overwhelmed both the traditional way that shares are getting bought, because of how volatile that stock price was, because everyone was doing some sort of trade, therefore Robinhood had to shut itself down for those particular stocks, for those particular days, because it could not afford to allow you to buy those stocks, right? Because it again, this is actually an interesting phenomenon of the U.S. trading system, that shares get settled 2 days later, because technically what used to be is you know, you say you want to buy it, and then you have to go to the bank and take out bags of cash, and then you bring those bags of cash to the seller or to an intermediary, and you exchange that bag of cash for an actual piece of paper that says you own this many shares in the company. And that really doesn't happen in this day and age, right? So, but it's a holdover from that, and that is just how this is done, right? Imagine if trades were settled instantaneously. There are benefits to that. Oh, but we're so overtime, so we're not going to talk about it anymore, because please don't sponsor another one of these. I hate you guys so much. In conclusion, thank you very much for watching. No, you guys, no, thank you very much for watching. Please download not Chrome, Firefox.